What's up YouTube, Redbeard's Garage, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be putting a big block on the Murray Explorer.
Went 36 and dropped off a little bit on top end, which we figured it would do, but definitely pulls a lot better. Let's see what it does this way. Doing both ways like a Guinness World Record would do, because that's what we're doing out here, breaking world records. Not really.
The top speed of this hog
was
pretty slow getting up there. Was it?
Mm-mm.
It was pretty decent.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 35.
Almost exactly.
Really?
One way was 36, from Darren Bell down, because it's slightly downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Back the other way was 32.
Oh really? Okay. So when I drove it downhill, I got 43, but that's downhill. It would not do that on flat ground.
Alright, let's go eat some slop.
Well, we got the old Murray pig back in the garage. So basically, the old 6.5 horse just isn't going to cut it. It's no fun. Isn't that right?
That's what they tell me.
So, yeah, Matthew never got to ride it, actually. Do you want to ride it before we start on this?
Before, no.
Okay. So this thing is just a pig. I don't really want to. We was going to put a 72 tooth sprocket on it, but if you can see, there's only probably like 2.5 inches. That sprocket would be extremely close, and I don't want to go through the headache. I don't even think it fit actually. We'd have to build bigger risers for that engine. Just a whole ordeal. So we're going to keep the same exact gearing ratio, and we're going to slap on the old GX 270. The old Butte. Just rebuild it with a brand new head, new valves. We put a new carb on it, and well, actually it had a new carb on it already, but it's all ready to go. Hopefully, we haven't started yet. Watch it not start. But so we got to pull this off. Pretty simple process. Of course, you probably all know. Got a kill switch up there. Got to pull off this throttle cable. 4 1/2-inch bolts and nuts underneath, and then the chain link. Then we can pull that puppy off there and put some real power on it.
15 minutes, 3 hours.
3 hours.
It could go either way.
Yeah, it's going to take a minute. Not looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's how I like it. Yeah, I tightened the balls a little bit.
Nope. It's already unhooked. Okay, so if you see, this bolt is in, but this engine plate was set up for a small block engine. So nothing lines up with the other side. But if you look, this one, this is like an oval hole on these engines right here. So if we just waller, I don't want to block the camera. If you just waller out that one, you know, cut a little bit, probably 1/4 inch off, we should be able to put a bolt in there and tension it up. We'll have to do that to the back and the front. So now we're going to check the bolt holes on the other side. Worst case scenario, we could weld another engine plate on top of this one to fix it, but hopefully we can just make this one work. Well, it's not the prettiest cut I've ever did in my life, but she'll work. She'll work just fine. So you can see I just cut probably 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more, and gapped it. We'll just have to use a large washer when we're putting a bolt on that. But it should work out pretty good, I would say. Only one thing to do, try it. Okay, so we didn't film much of it, but we got the 270 put on. What sucked is we went to go put the chain that was on that 6.5 horse on, and it was a freaking 1 link too short. So we had to cut a new piece of chain to put on this engine. But everything fits good. All the collars are tightened up. The engine's tightened up. We had to do a little bit of rigging on this throttle mechanism. So we did have to do some rigging. I put a return spring here on the actual butterfly of the carburetor. I don't like doing that because this is plastic, but this is a light spring, so it shouldn't hurt anything. Then you can see the throttle cable. We put a little hold for it right there. We're going to see how this holds up. And then, of course, it pulls and works the butterfly. We have started it already just to make sure everything was good, and it did run fine. So now is the moment of truth. We're going to open the garage door and take it for a rip snot. We may put the snorkel back on it too. The snorkel will work perfectly fine on this. You know, to put the air filter up here, but we don't need it right now. Is the only reason we put the stock air filter on. So we'll open the garage door and ride this thing. So it definitely does have more power. It isn't like a massive difference, but it does have more power. That torque converter belt needs to really get broke in. It's wanting to grab when you're setting still, so you really got to push on the brakes. And I hate how these Murrays have the brakes. They got a spring, a big coil spring in between the brake linkage and the arm on the caliper. Old tree buster. Shut it off. What do you think?
Well,
you know, like you said, brakes not so much top notch.
Yeah.
But in a pinch, you can run it against a tree and you'll be just fine.
Yeah, and it is dripping some gas.
Yeah, she's got a pretty solid little leak.
And it looks like it's coming from in between the carburetor and that insulator, which it should not be dripping there. Or is it coming out? It's hard to tell. I'll shut it off for now so it don't leak a bunch. But definitely, you didn't get to ride it before.
No.
But it's definitely a lot better.
Yep.
Lonnie will do a top speed run on it, but I like it. I mean, it's a ton better than. So basically, this is the same thing as a Predator 301, and I mean, it's going to cost you a lot more. You got to think the engine's double the price, and the torque converter's 4 times the price. So it's definitely, I mean, money well spent.
It's an investment.
You can never get the torque out of a 6.5 horse that you're getting out of this engine. Same gearing ratio, ton of torque. I mean, for what it is, ton of torque. You go up to a 420, it's even more.
It's got enough up here around the tree. It, you know, broke loose and spun around in the dirt.
Yeah.
But it did a good job. It's a fun little go-kart.
I like it. And I think top speed, I think it would get up and go. It sounds like it would open up really well.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're going to have to, Lonnie did the test on the other engine, so we're going to have him come over and do a top speed and jump this thing. That's what I'm thinking.
That's a good idea.
Jumping it. Maybe put a couch pillow behind his back, because this thing beats you to death.
It's not that bad.
Well, once you ride a suspension go-kart like the old Zircon,
Yeah.
bless her heart, she's sitting down there with the chain off, and I put the chain back on it. Well, actually, I put a brand new chain on it, and it kicked it right back off. So need to find out what the problem is on that. But this is
self-esteem issues.
Yeah, she's just nervous around all these other go-karts. 670 scares her.
Yeah.
But I got to find out what the deal is with that gas leaking. It doesn't make any sense. All new gaskets, everything should be good, and it could be the fact that this thing's bouncing around like a mother flipper, but I still wouldn't see that as supposed to. I mean, that shouldn't be a problem.
Shouldn't make it that bad.
But it's fun. It fills the back of the go-kart up a lot more than that little dinky 6.5 horse. And I love the way these exhausts look when they're new and they start getting that blue color. And people was asking me about them rusting. You're just gonna have to paint them. I mean, it's mild steel. They're gonna rust. It ain't stainless. So yeah, a little janky throttle mechanism, works great. I ain't feel a problem with it. It falls on its face on takeoff. Yeah, you gotta feather it off the line, so it might need more gas, I would think. That's the stock GX390 carb, so should have bigger jets. Of course, is a bigger carb than what the GX270 came with. But yeah, we'll wait till Lonnie gets here and have him do a top speed run.
Alright, so what are we doing here, Redbeard?
We're micing some jets, eyeball style. My drill bits don't go up big enough to drill. I mean, it's definitely, here, hand me that one, I'll put it back in its bag. So we're trying to find the jets to put in this Honda 9 horse, because it's running lean. When you take off, it wants to spit on takeoff, but it's a ton more power. So I'm going through all my jets, and I'm wondering if a 670 stock jet would be good enough for it. So how you test your, you know, if you're running lean or rich, you hold your RPMs at the problem area. You know, if it's low, like this one's falling on its face out of the hole. It's usually lean, because if it's rich, it'll pop and crackle and black smoke. So I held it at the problem area for a second and then shut the go-kart off immediately. Don't let it idle down or nothing. Then you can check your spark plug, see if it's, you know, if it's rich, it's going to be wet or really black and sooty. If it's lean, it's going to be a really white color. And what you're looking for is like a bronze color, you know, in between. And this one was definitely lean. So we're trying to find a jet that'll compensate the fuel for our performance parts, so we can rip snot on this thing. So now it's just going through jets and eyeball them. It's working out pretty good though. You can tell the size difference. Yeah,
it pulls that hill like nothing.
Yeah, I can hear it's not bogging whatsoever.
Yeah.
So the motor definitely needs jetted up, because that's why it's falling on its face for sure. And it's not healthy to run a motor lean, but we just need to make this video because we're going to be waiting like a week to get either jets or a jet drill bit. But So what do you say about it?
I can't wait to see it jetted.
Would you say she totally redeemed herself?
Just when I think it couldn't get any more disappointing, it goes and does something like this and totally redeems itself.
So we're gonna get Lonnie done some donuts right now, or right here. Hopefully you don't kick a chain. And you wanna try to jump the driveway?
Yes.
Do the driveway first.
Okay.
It's redeemed, it just needs bigger jets. For sure.
Did I get any much air? Or was it just all
Nah,
me?
it was a little bit of air, but nothing like the Widowmaker. But I blame that on driveway washout. Because this definitely has more power than the Widowmaker.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually completely fun. And I took the carb off, completely cleaned everything, disassembled it. And you can see no gas leakage. But it definitely needs jetted properly. For sure. So, yeah.
I need a neck brace.
We need to buy a neck brace for jumping the driveway.
Here we go. This thing was screaming up to me up that hill.
I was beating both onions.
Oh, I'd say that.
Yeah.
Is it pretty sketchy? Really open it up?
No, it's not
I
bad
need
actually.
sunglasses.
I was wide open whenever
I did too.
we turned around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were screaming up
Oh,
on me.
yeah.
I was like, oh god.
Yeah, he should be the fastest, but that
Definitely.
surprises me, dude. Yeah, that's impressive because that's always been like the little king,
Yeah.
and that one's totally redeemed itself. Redbeard's Garage is powered by GoPowersports.com. GoPowersports has a huge amount of awesome go-kart and mini bike parts, and when making your purchase, use the Redbeard discount code in the upper right-hand corner of your shopping cart to grab yourself a sweet deal. Help support our channel with some merch by going to rbgcarts.com. We have shirts, stickers, and hats, and we're adding new designs all the time. Hit that subscribe button and make sure the notification bell is on so you'll never miss another episode, and go check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Pinterest to stay up to date with the channel. Guys, always come back to Redbeard's Garage. I'm out.